Section 7.2.25-T, assume that the random variable x is normally distributed with a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 6. You want to compute the probability and be sure to draw a normal curve with the area corresponding to the probability shaded. So let's first take a look at this. So what do we know about the given information? Well, we know the value of x is going to equal 45, since we want to know the probability of x is less than or equal to 45. We also know that our mean is 50, and we know that our standard deviation is 6. Okay, so we're going to first draw our normal curve according to the information that's given. So we know that the mean here is 50. And we also know that the value of 45 is located here, and we want to find the area that's to the left of that value. So they're asking us to draw the normal curve, not the standard normal curve. The standard normal curve is converting this to a z-score. I'm going to come back to this. At this point here, we have to use technology. Okay, because in order for us to be able to use the table, we would need to convert that to a z-score. Okay, so that means that we're going to have to use the TI-84 calculator or StatCrunch. So I'm going to do that first and then show you the difference between what that z-score would look like. So in this example, we're going to use NormalCDF. We have the lower bound, the upper bound. So that means we're going to use the lower bound to be -9999, the upper bound to be 45, the mean to be 50, and the standard deviation to be 6. So if we want to be able to find the probability of x being less than or equal to 45, then that's going to equal normal CDF with the lower bound of -9999, an upper bound of 45, and then a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 6. So let's see what that gives us here. So if we plug that in, we got second distribution, and we're going to go down to normal CDF. We're going to put in -9999, comma 45 as the upper bound. The mean is 50, and the standard deviation is 6. Okay, and then let's take a look at what that area is given to us. Okay, so if we round it to 4 decimal places, we get 0.2023. Okay, now if we wanted to use StatCrunch, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to open up StatCrunch. Okay, and by doing that, we're going to go to Stat, go to Calculators, and then go to Normal Distribution. Okay, so our mean that we're given here is 50. So we're going to put in the value of 50 for our mean. We know that our standard deviation is 6, and we know that x has to be less than or equal to the value of 45. And then we're going to select Compute. So when we do that, let's take a look at the calculator and the answer that it gives us, which will give us the exact same thing that we got in the first part. Okay, so we can see here that the area here is going to be, again, 0.2023. Okay, now let's say that we converted this. Now this is just on the side, right? This is not the actual answer. This is our answer that you're going to plug in for the problem. But if we wanted to convert to a z-score, okay, I want you to see the difference between this is the normal curve because our mean is 50. When it becomes the standard normal curve, we have a mean of 0. So if we want to convert this to a z-score, recall that the formula for a z-score is z, which is equal to x minus mu over the standard deviation. So therefore, z is going to equal x, which is 45, minus 50 over 6, which gives us negative 0.83. Okay, So now what we want to do is we want to look at that area. So what is the area when we're using the z-score in a table? So if we come down here, okay, here is negative 0.83, and you can see that the area that we get is 0.2033. So when we find the probability of z being less than negative 0.83, we get an area of 0.2033. Well, you see the difference between this and that. So you got to pay attention to when they're asking for the standard normal curve and the normal curve. If they're just saying the normal curve, then you're just going to plug those numbers in either into your calculator and therefore get that area. Because again, now what this would look like in the standard normal curve is that instead of the mean being 0, it would be 50. And then instead of it being 45, we would have negative 0.83. And then what we're looking for, again, is the area here. Okay, so again, let's just take a look at what this would look like on the calculator. So if we put in second, again, normal distribution, let's go to NormalCDF. And so now we're going to still put in negative 9999. And then now we're going to use negative 0.83. And then using the mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1, again, we should get the same area that we got here. Okay, so if you round it to 4 decimal places, you can see again that it's a little bit different than what you got over here. So it's really important to make sure that you pay attention to what the question is asking. And likewise, if we wanted to use StatCrunch, okay, we're going to use the mean of 0, the standard deviation of 1, and then we're going to use the z-score of negative 0.83. And again, when you compute that, you should get the same area as the ones we did already right before those. So therefore, again, you can see that that area, okay, is quite different and a little bit different than what you get over here. So you be careful and just make sure you make note of that.